The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho is one of those books where when you read it, it can really be a turning point in your life. There's so much hidden wisdom in the book, especially when you're willing to look at the subtext and take it slow and really analyze what the author is saying. It really makes sense why the book has become so popular. We follow a young boy who sets out to find his personal legend, and the story is really written so that it can be related to anyone, right? It's like a kid who chooses to leave home and travel to find a treasure that he's been seeking, and we can all relate to that. We're all trying to discover ourselves or discover real, monetary treasure or spiritual treasure, um, and it's just so easy to relate. Like we all get stuck. We all meet so many people from different backgrounds and have to interact and learn new things from them. And the hope is that eventually we set off on our own to find what we're looking for and that the universe is working with us. And at times, right, it doesn't even seem like it is. But ultimately, like if you're holding true to what you are searching for, you're going to find it. And I think that is sort of what the main message of the book is. It's like you have to find it if you are willing to be adamant and go through whatever tribulation you have to go through, you will find it. And it might even be back home where you might least expect it. And I think that is such a funny, ironic twist is that he was literally sitting on the treasure at the start of the book. But, ultimately the universe, the plan for him was that he had to travel to Egypt to see the pyramids in order to see how beautiful they were and in order to discover where the treasure was. Right? And that wasn't the only treasure he found along the way. The people he met taught him such valuable lessons about persistence and discipline, and he helped them in return as far as, giving them new perspectives and causing them to change and grow, right? Including meeting the alchemist, right? The person in the book who is just really like transformative and kind of teaches him about the whole spiritual aspect of being willing to change and going out of your way to seek and find. It is a fantastic book, well worth your time to read. I would give it a 10 out of 10. I've listened to it multiple times, physical and audiobook version. It was definitely a book that I would say was like a turning point, especially for like actually getting into reading. There was a couple of books that like really sparked my interest in reading. The Alchemist was one. The Four Agreements was another, which I've already reviewed. And I feel like those were probably the two first big ones, and then a lot of the other books I've read, I've also I've done a review on as well already, like Brave New World or Who Moved My Cheese, and I'm gonna keep posting more too because there's just so many good books out there. We don't have time to read all of them, so we have to figure out which ones are actually worth reading. And to bring it back, The Alchemist is one of those books. You can really put yourself in the shoes of that character. Like I felt as though like I was walking alongside him the whole time, like through his journey through the desert, choosing to leave home against his father's wishes, trying to convince him to stay, and that, the most beautiful people are back where his home is, and but that just wasn't what he wanted. He the whole time was going out of his way to do what was best for him. And people also encouraged him to do so, right? It was like you need balance, you need to, give back to the universe and also listen to the universe, right? We all speak this universal language, and we don't even need words to speak it to each other. It's just this innate knowledge, call it instinct, where you can just look at somebody and just like know like, and really just understand each other without even saying a single word, if you are willing to listen and if you are willing to look. And I think that, right, again, it's like a lot of these themes in this book are like almost esoteric in that it's trying to convince you to follow destiny, follow fate. But like you have to put an action towards that destiny, right? You have to put in work to be able to receive your treasure at the end of the day. It's not easy, right? It can take months, it could take years. This was, our protagonist Santiago like got stuck at a glass shop for a couple years, like just cleaning glasses and helping the shop owner and getting money because he had been robbed previously. And yet he didn't go back home. He didn't quit. He could have left, but he stayed on his path, stayed on his journey, felt what was true, and just like kept pushing for a brighter day, um, and for his treasure. And he gets it. At the end of the day, he gets it. Even when he was, at that last step, he was again right, like beaten, and it's like, it's really not about how often you get beat down. It's how many times you stand back up. Um, and it's just so exhilarating to see like such a protagonist who really is just a simple person who comes from a simple land, who is a shepherd and is like, he's like just a light bringer, a truth seeker, and he gets what he's looking for, and he becomes an alchemist, and is sort of like, I think the book is really trying to show you anyone can be an alchemist, right? From any creed, background, religion, faith, like you can add alchemy to your life and trust the universe is working for you, and even ask the universe for guidance. But don't do it too often, right? You got to save it for those real, like, those moments where you just can't decide and you're really stuck, and that's when you can reach out and ask, and the universe will provide you an answer. It's just one of those things where if you use it too much, that power, that magic kind of disappears. It is so amazing to read that book. Um, again, I give it a 10. Well worth your time to read it. And it's definitely something I look back to a lot. I really, it's definitely really affected me in a positive way, like it has millions of other people. And I hope it will for you too. I hope this video inspires you to go out and watch it. Big shout out to Paulo Coelho. His other books are just as good. The Archer is great. Um, oh, and I forget the third one. I'll have to just put it in the description, maybe. But they're all very unique. They all take on different personas, and he's actually not all wrapped up in like one writing style, which I was kind of shocked about because you can kind of follow a cadence through some of the books, but he can switch it up, which is really nice. It's really interesting. I think that's going to be the end for this episode. That was another book club. This has been A New Lens. I'm Wild Will. I'll see you next week.